What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I just want to do a video talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. Last night they defeated the San Antonio Spurs. I believe the Spurs were without Victor Wembanyama. But be that as it may, the Spurs lost to the Bucks by the final score of 132 to 119. And for the San Antonio Spurs, the high man was, the high man for the Spurs was Keldon Johnson with 28 points. He also had 12 rebounds. For the Milwaukee Bucks, for the second game in a row, the high man was Dame Lillard, who scored 40 points. I believe that's a high for Lillard, a high for Lillard since he's been a member of the Bucks. I'm trying to remember whether or not he's had a 40-point game since then. This might be his first 40-point game. But anyway, last night Dame Lillard had 40 points go along with 3 rebounds and 4 assists. Giannis had a triple-double with 11 points, 14 rebounds, and 16 assists. The 16 assists for Giannis, I believe that's a career high for him. Bobby Portis had 23 points and 10 rebounds in 26 minutes. And the Bucks had 5 players in double figures. So this is what I want to say about the Milwaukee Bucks right quick, right? The Bucks improved to 20-7 on the year. Things were pretty shaky for the Bucks at one point in time, but the Bucks have been rolling as of late. The next game will be against Orlando today. Now that will be a game that is a pecking order game. It'll be a measuring stick game because, as we all know, Orlando's having one hell of a season themselves, right? You know what I'm saying? They're having a great season. I don't know the record off the top of my head, but it might be something like, matter of fact, let me check to see what their record might be. I can't see it right now, but they might be something like 18-9 or something like that. But anyway, this is what I've noticed about the Bucks this season when you look at the numbers. This is the best scoring Bucks team since at least the 1970s. I just want to put that out there. This is the best scoring Bucks team since at least the 1970s. Even the championship year in 2021, that Bucks team, I think they averaged 120 points a game. This Bucks team is second in scoring in the NBA. They're averaging 124.7 points per game. So they're starting to get their act together offensively. Earlier this year, through the first 5 or 6 games, the Bucks were only averaging 115 points per game, which is about league average, a little bit over league average. But considering the firepower that they had, that was underperforming. But now they're starting to crank offensively and averaging 124.7 points per game. Offensive rating, they're third at 121.3. They're yielding. They're giving up 119.2 points per game. That's pretty much held steady. But what's important is their margin of victory is increasing. At one point in time, the Bucks were giving up more points than they were scoring. That's when they miraculously had a winning record, but they were struggling beating teams, really struggling beating teams. About 8-9 games ago, the Bucks were scoring about 2 more points per game than their opponent. Now that margin has increased to about 5.2 points per game, which is indicative of a team that is starting to get their act together as far as beating the teams they need to beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, the teams that they should be beating, they're no longer just playing with their food. They're knocking them out. They're getting these guys the hell up out of here. Now, their defense still needs improvement. But earlier this year, they were like 27th, 28th, 29th in defensive rating. Now they're 19th. They're still a little bit below par, but I've always noticed that championship teams, if you're going to be a great offensive team, then defensively you need to be at least average. So they're getting close to average, which would be 14, 15, 16 for the NBA. So the Bucks are starting to get their act together. Look, I've always advocated that we need to get this head coach Adrian Griffin some time. You know, there's different schemes. He has a different strategy, different philosophy as far as playing basketball. But for the Bucks. But one thing I do like about Adrian Griffin that I couldn't stand about Mike Budenholzer, Mike Budenholzer had an ego. He had an ego, and he was very, very slow to make adjustments. Very, very slow. And even then, if something was working as far as him finally making an adjustment, he'll go right back to the same shit that he was always doing. The next time that team played that team, he was very stubborn. One thing I like about Adrian Griffin is that he dialogues with the players. He gets their input. If there's something that's going on that a player may not like, whether it's effort, communication, whatever the hell it may be, it's offensive strategy, defensive strategies. If there's something that a player may not like, that player may go to Adrian Griffin respectfully. He'll listen to what they have to say, and he's not afraid to make changes, especially if something's not working. And I like that in this guy. But for some reason, the mainstream media don't like Adrian Griffin. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? They were plotting against him the whole time, in my opinion. They want this guy to fail. I think the plan was they wanted Adrian Griffin to fail. I'm not talking about everybody in the media. I'm talking about some people. I think they wanted Adrian Griffin to fail. Right? And they wanted, before he resigned, and they wanted Terry Stotts to take over the team. And we all know the reports about what happened between Adrian Griffin and Terry Stotts. There's been a spin on it. In my opinion, I think Terry Stotts was going to try to undermine Adrian Griffin's authority, set him up for the fall, and I think he wanted to take that job from him. You know? But anyway, I think the Bucks are, they're not still where they need to be, but I like what I'm starting to see. I'm liking that there seems to be a little bit more communication on defense. I don't think they're ever going to recover and be the defensive team that they once were. You don't lose a Drew Holiday and that not affect you. But at the very least, put out some effort on defense. Or, you know what I'm saying, in certain circumstances, find a combination that'll work for you defensively to plug up some of these holes. You know. And I still think the Bucks should consider acquiring a guy like Caruso. I don't think the Bucks should make too many changes because I like that things are starting to gel. But if need be, as long as they don't have to give up too much, not too much, they could acquire a Caruso, maybe. But I wouldn't give up Bobby Portis. I wouldn't give up Lillard, obviously, Giannis, or at this point even Middleton. I wouldn't do it. And I think they'll probably have to require them giving up Middleton. But right now, the way things are rolling, I don't know if I would make any moves. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it right now. Tell me what you guys think.